Hello there, and let me give you now my insights on the recently concluded Miss International. Am I satisfied with the Philippines' placement? What can I say about Miss Venezuela? What about the show? The top 15 and more. Without further ado, let's go right now. The show might be a little bit boring, not only to some Pinoys, but to majority of beauty pageant enthusiasts all over the world. We always want fast-paced pageants and this super catwalk killing moments. And we did not see those things. We did not experience those things in Miss International. But that difference, that sadness that majority have experienced is actually the main armor of Miss International to stay relevant all throughout these years. It has a distinct flavor. If it's a cuisine, it must be expensive because of that distinct identity. We don't see such kind of pageants nowadays. It is so formal. It is so silent, but it is also organized. They have given a lot of exposure to these girls who have, given all their energy and their power and all other resources just to participate in this pageant. Let's dig deeper into that difference that I'm talking about. Number one, there are still those escorts that tell the girls where to position themselves. Of course, there were rehearsals, but because there were not enough, most probably, there were not enough interpreters to guide all these girls during the entire competition, particularly during the rehearsals. That's why in the finals, you would see some confusion among the candidates, particularly the top 8. They were really a little bit confused kung saan sila tatayo and everything, and so on and so forth. But that man in black suit guiding the candidates is advice that I actually like, because they are not just there, they are showing their culture without getting into a traditional kimono or Japanese wardrobe, diba? They're showing their courtesy and respect with that kind of choreography. Even during the preliminary, there was, I think the final dinner, that there was one girl standing in the middle guiding all the girls where to stop and when to go. And it's very simple. Of course, the candidates, or you could just tell the candidates what to do, because there is no complex choreography. It's just, okay, enter, stop there, and go. Enter, stop there, and go. But still, there is a lady there guiding the candidates. And it's not also a guiding peg. It's also a warm welcome peg. Number two, it's like, Golden Globe Awards. I presume there is dinner. I just couldn't see it clearly, but I think there is dinner. Is there? Okay, I will research later. I forgot. Sorry about that. Number 3, they don't care about what others say, but it is a Japanese production. It should be presented in Japanese, whatever they like to do, in their own style and preferences. And they have Japanese judges. As if go on and talk, go on and bash us, but we will continue with the tradition. There will be Japanese people sitting there as members of the distinguished jury. Care ko. Di pong ganun. And as what I've told you, the exposure, my dear, the exposure, that's how you treat candidates. You have to give them ample time to show themselves up to the world. So everyone comes out in their swimsuit, everyone comes out in their gowns. Unlike in other pageants that as quick as 3 seconds, you're gone. All right, so now let's go further. This time, to the stage. I like the stage. For me, it's simple, yet it's extravagant, you know. The stairs continue to amaze me. I always like girls who are walking down the stairs or making some poses here and there as she walks along the stairs. I like that one. And there's humor again there. Oh my God! Sana walang mahimatay. Kapag nahimatay, ang layo ng babagsakan. O ang taas ng babagsakan. Pinoy, Pinoy, Pinoy. Like that. It's not bashing, it's... Where am I again? Okay, I like the stage, I like the stairs. I like the lightings. We don't see that lights on lights off thing anymore, and just there's a single spotlight focusing directly on who is being called or hosts or whatever. So it's another special ingredient to a rare kind of pageant. And again, that makes this pageant expensive if it's a food or if it's a, yeah. Let's go to the girls. I am very happy because I got 11 out of 15. You know, an hour or two before the announcement of winners, I saw Miss Spain and Paraguay during the introduction, and I thought, oh my God, I forgot to include Spain, particularly because she was really in my mind when I was making my video, my top 15. Colombia actually was not part of my top 20. It was only during the swimsuit round when I said that, oh my God, Venezuela was so great in her swimsuit, but Colombia was remarkable. The hair, the execution of the swimsuit, the graceful turns and everything. It's very commanding, you know. It's like Miss Earth. Miss Colombia was out of my preferences list, but during the last part, you would notice her greatness, so you would immediately include her in your top 10 or top 5. And just like here, so I immediately replaced, I think Lau. So I removed Lau from my top 8. In fact, I was about to remove her from my top 15 because her swimsuit performance was unsatisfyingly done. It was flat, not primarily her body, but the performance. So it's purely face, it's purely face, it's purely face, which is undoubtedly one of the prettiest, including India. Lau and India are two of the two of the prettiest girls of that competition, just like you. Next is, who else? Japan. I was surprised because she was not one of my top 20, but when she was already included in the top 15, I thought, wow, she's doing great. But I was not expecting that she would be in the top 8. Sorry, Japan, but you know, it doesn't diminish the fact that you came out there and performed gracefully. Miss International Organization tends to go head to head with other pageants in terms of competitive programming. So the swimsuit, how do you call this? Swimsuit preliminary is a refreshing welcome to the pageant. But as what I told you before the pageant, I didn't like the way it went. I was very frustrated with the way it was, you know, organized. There should have been great exposure by putting some cameras here and there and making it like a superb quality preliminary. It's not like you're watching a preliminary of one campus or one university. It's a big pageant, one of the big 4, and it remains to be one of the big 4. Yeah, I think so. It can stand on its own because of its uniqueness. And then the top 8, they should give only the, well, maybe if they cannot really eliminate the speech portion, they better give single question to the top 5, for example, or top 8, and let the speech thing only during the top 15. Why not? So it would be more refreshed and more competitive, because It's a sort of a monologue competition. But here, anyway, the way you deliver really matters. For me, South Africa's speech was good because she said that she was, and I was very happy when she mentioned that it would be quite, etc. If there will be, I will be the very first woman from Africa, but there is no conviction, there is no power. It's just, she's just talking to a friend, you know. But if she said, and let me say this to you, I would be very, very proud if I would be the very first woman. That would be a great honor and responsibility. You see the smile, it doesn't perish. If it was teamed up with, it is sensible, with the more power in her speech, she could have been the new winner. And I would be right. Because I strongly believe that Miss South Africa is the best representative of Africa, of the whole of Africa in recent years. That's why it was a waste of a candidate, a waste of that rare chance. And it is also a waste of an opportunity for Miss International to stay more relevant. And okay, let's stop that. I think the judging, by the way, is fair. It is the candidates who, at the end of the day, choose their placements. It depends on their performances. Even if we consider this one as the most beautiful one, if she did not give a good performance really on that stage, including the question and the speech, then she wouldn't go far. So it's, their destiny is basically depending on their own doing. When they enter the top 15, it's all theirs. We just watch. So again, if Miss South Africa gave a more convincing, a speech which had all those good elements of a good speech, as what we had learned from our universities, the enunciation, the tone, the pausing, when to stop, the rhythm, and so on and so forth, it should be part of that. And I think Miss South Africa didn't do that. Miss Venezuela was very charming. Her speech was not that worthy to be remembered for a long time. It was not as sensible as others, but it became more sensible than others because it was done in a very casual manner, yet with power, and it's in English. She gave a very convincing speech that is full of charm and conviction, I think. Yeah. Now let's go to Miss Philippines. I think the handlers of Miss Philippines really put her into that packaging. Okay, stay as simple as when you started. Stay as demure as when you started during the initial stages of Miss International. Just be you. But she's not that you. I think so, because she was a little bit, good in G-rating on stage during the bb.pilipinas competition. So I think that is more of, the bb.pilipinas image was more of Atisha than Atisha on Miss International. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know her personally. Atisha, I believe, could still win it without these things that I am about to say. But number one, I didn't like the gown. Well, if you like it, go. But me, again, in all honesty, I didn't like it. But it doesn't diminish the fact that I love her, I supported her, and I think she could also win Miss Universe. But she could also win Miss International. Of course. She had everything. It's just a personal taste about that gown. It comes off as a little bit super toned down to please what they expect as old-fashioned, judges. That they would like this one and this one, that it should be enveloped with this one, she would be wrapped in this one, she would be fully covered with this one, she would just smile like that, and she just don't show her angst and her hunger for the crown. Control yourself, Atisa, control yourself. Maybe a sort of that. That's why She was beautiful, but she could have been more alive. You know what I mean? She could have been more alive. She gave a very good performance, but she could have a more remarkable performance if she moved away a little bit, just a little bit from that conservative image. I think so. Again, Atisa could have won it. Even with just that. Oh, it's okay lang sa akin. It's just a personal taste that it could have been better if she would change her hairstyle during the gown and show some flesh. It's still a competition, a pageant competition. Anyway, Atisa's performance was almost flawless. Don't mind whatever I say because it's just a personal preference, and Kylie's different. Even if we talk about the swimsuit, oh my God, it's so, you know what I mean, so sexy. And she was really seducing the judges and the crowd. Look at Miss Venezuela during the swimsuit. She was also pleasing the crowd. She was appreciating the presence of all these people. And the judges noticed that and embraced that. So Miss Venezuela is more open, more appealing during that night. Speech of Atisa is basically just for one, not really basically, but more for a certain group of people in a society, like the youth. So it could have been more comprehensive, it could be more wide in scope. Well, the only thing lacking, I think, is the conviction. It should have been more powerful. When I was 15, when I was 16, that's great. I thought it would go all the way to a very remarkable, commanding ending or conclusion, but it didn't. But again, it was nicely presented. It's just that maybe I was looking for some strength, for some persuading emotions, and a little gesture here and there. Not really like this, just a little. Even if your hands is firmly closed like this, it wouldn't harm. But I think that it lacks impact. Maybe. Well, another thing is that I think in prepared speech like this, that you have already memorized this for maybe a month or two. So whether you qualify or not, whether you make it to top 15, you already have it in your mind. There should have been injections of quotations, sharing this quotes from popular artists, writers, novelists, etc., etc. They add some spice into your message. I'm sure everybody agrees to it. You might not add this into your top 5 Q&A because you don't know the question. You would only know it right then and there. But in a privileged speech like this, which is memorized, you should have gone, further. And I think, personally, it gives more strength to any speech of that. Naman. And number 2 is the focus of the speech. It is, I think, with a set of judges who are not as young as we are, you wouldn't expect them to like it 100%. That your speech is gearing towards the youth, even though each and every one of us has been youth, has been a young man or young woman once in her life. Still, I think at that moment, it wouldn't create an impact, especially among the judges, that you're talking about the youth. So it should have been wider in scope. Again, this is from me. My taste might be the worst taste of all, but it is a privilege. I am in my own channel, and I am privileged to speak my mind out. So seeing her in the first runner-up standing, I think that's already a great achievement. Atisa gave a wonderful performance. That's one thing sure, though. And I think this year's top 5 is one of the best and most beautiful top 5 in the history of Miss International. And please comment down your reaction to what I say, or maybe you could have some suggestions or thoughts about Atisa's performance and her standing in the finals. Thank you. Okay, here's more. So thank you very much as usual. This is your friend Robato saying arigatou gozaimasu, and watch out for my Facebook page raid of Miss Universe. Maraming salamat sa inyo lahat.